In many cultures, the celebration of love and commitment culminates in a joyous wedding ceremony. But behind this celebration lies a legal document. And what exactly is a marriage certificate and why is it deemed very, very important? Televiewers, good evening and welcome to this live broadcast of issues. This Friday we are wishing you a happy weekend, and as we wish you a happy weekend, we are going to be looking at the implications of marriage certificates, not only examining its advantages but also looking at the responsibilities that come with a marriage certificate. And also we shall also look at why some men and women find joy in cohabitation rather than legalizing their union. I am Fomucha Mirabel, your anchor for today. I will be back after the break. You're once again welcome to ZMR TV, where the program coming your way is Issues, and together let us welcome our guests on this program. Madam Walang Honorine, you're welcome, barrister.
Good evening, Mira. Good evening, Sarah. Good evening, televiewers.
It's good to have you again on board, Madam Walang. Barrister Walang Honorine will be giving us the legal side of a marriage certificate. And Madam Sarah Combe is right here. Hello, Madam Sarah. Happy
Hi.
weekend.
Same to you, Madam Mira. Good evening, barrister. Having you is always a pleasure. Whenever I see you around, I know that we are blessed to go more deep and know the law, what the law is telling us about certain issue. Madam Mira is like, before we go, I want to take this out.
Thank you so very much, and we are delighted to have you again on the program. And Madam Sarah will be giving us the social perspective of a marriage certificate. Now, let us look at what exactly is a marriage certificate and why is this legal document important? Barrister, you have to help us with that.
A marriage certificate, according to law, a marriage certificate is evidence that a valid marriage took place.
Okay.
According to the law. It legally establishes the relationship, making it enforceable in court and by government institutions. This marriage certificate is important because it guarantees the rights of inheritance and property.
Okay.
It also bring out the next of kin status. When you are married, it is automatically written that
you are the next of kin.
You are the next of kin of the surviving spouse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it equally access to spousal benefits. There are certain benefits that the spouse certain benefits
that comes with it.
That comes with a marriage certificate.
Okay.
And those benefits, you can never have them if you don't have a valid marriage certificate. Yes.
Okay.
So I don't want to go into the details because when we'll be discussing, we can get into the details. It also guarantees legal protection in case of separation or divorce.
Okay.
The marriage certificate, yes. And they also guarantee parental rights and legitimacy of children. And then it also emphasizing on immigration and travel documents. Once you have a marriage certificate, you can use that marriage certificate and pursue travel document. For instance, your husband is abroad.
Yeah.
You can take your marriage certificate and go to the embassy. By virtue of the fact that you are married, it facilitates your process of giving you a visa.
Okay, so it has a lot of advantages that come with it.
A lot of
but you, in the course of your presentation, you made us to understand that there's a part where you mentioned legal marriage certificate.
Yes.
Is there a marriage certificate which is not legal?
Yes, there are marriage certificates which are not legal, especially when all the formalities of a valid marriage is not followed.
Okay.
For instance, if one of the spouse did not give his or her consent to that marriage cannot be
valid.
if the marriage certificate is not legalized at the civil status registry, it is not a valid marriage certificate.
Okay.
Yes.
Saying that one of the partners doesn't give the consent, can you please expatiate on that?
Not giving your consent. For instance, let's say in Muslim communities, you don't have a right once your parents, in those days, once your parents have said that you are getting married to this person, you don't have any right to say no. You just have to go there. You are not going there because you actually
like
love
it.
that person,
Okay.
or you are giving your consent. You are going there because you want to satisfy the wish of your parents.
Of your parents.
And as such, your consent has not been given to that marriage.
Okay.
And at times again, you can be under duress. You understand that if you don't get married to this person, we are going to
Kill you. We are going to do
kill you,
this.
we are going to do this. We are going to do this. As such, you are left with no choice
Than to get into the
than
marriage.
to get into the marriage.
Okay.
And in case you have problems with that particular marriage certificate or that particular person, while in court or in the process of divorce, while in court, once you raise
can
that,
prove.
yes, and prove that I did not consented to this marriage, it's just as good as separating the marriage.
Okay, so the divorce process is very easy when it comes to that point. When
it comes to-
when the consent, the person
Yes.
did not give
And
the
can
consent.
prove to the court.
Yes, that your consent
Yes.
was not actually taken into consideration.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. Madam Sarah, I want you to give us the social aspect. What is a marriage certificate for you?
For me, I think it is a legal document binding two persons, showing that these two persons, they are married. We need to know that these two persons are married when they can prove that they have a marriage certificate.
Okay.
Most often, we know that the courts cannot go ahead giving marriage certificate when the traditional right has not been done, fulfilled.
Okay.
The church too cannot go
Ahead.
if the traditional right, the courts, they have not done all those two things.
Okay.
But now, what really binds those people together, it is that
Is the document.
is that document. Because tomorrow you may just go and see one or two persons in that family, and they do something, and to them they think that they have done the traditional right, and then you go home and you're happily sitting there that you are married. Tomorrow the family will come back for you because you don't have something has not bind those two persons.
Together.
It shows that they are not still married. So I look at marriage certificate as that document that legally or socially tells us that these two persons are married.
They are married.
Yes.
Now, we are talking about this particular document, and I'm very happy with the fact that you brought in the issue of the traditional wedding and also the marriage certificate, which the church cannot go further with putting the uniting the couples without knowing that the traditional rights have been taken into consideration and the law has been taken into account. Now, what about the bride price? Because when you hear of divorce, some people say they are divorced in court, but that divorce is not recognized because they have not paid my bride price. They have not refunded the bride price. So, what is your opinion on that, Barrister?
The bride price issue is customary.
Okay.
It is customary. The custom demands that you pay a bride price. And according to our custom, it's just the normal that if you don't want somebody, you refund the bride price. That's the only means that you can prove traditionally that you don't have any connection or any marital relationship with your spouse again.
Okay.
Yes, but in as much as you have not returned that
the bride price,
traditionally you are still recognized that you are married to that person.
Okay.
And don't be surprised that if something happened to you or you are dead or anything like marriage, the people will come that you have to.
But now does the
That you are their
law,
wife.
because you talk about this customary, and we know that we also have customary laws, does the law recognize that?
The law recognizes that to an extent because you cannot really get married when you have not proved that the traditional marriage
Was
has
done.
taken, yes,
Okay.
was done.
Okay.
Even though nowadays people said marriage is for two people who have given their consent. Some people still bypass the traditional marriage rights
And
they go ahead to
the
legalize
courts
or the civil status marriage without actually carrying out the traditional part of the marriage.
Okay.
Yes,
And
and now to that perspective, it has traditional implication because according to the customary law of that of the couple, they don't recognize you, or the family, the parents don't recognize that you have actually gotten married because you have not paid their bride price.
Okay.
You are just living with a
You're
man.
just
You
living
have gone,
together.
yes, you have made your marriage certificate is there, you are brandishing it that you are married. But your parents back, they'll tell you that
They don't
know that.
recognize
Yes,
you
we
as
don't know that. And
the
the
husband to
family,
our child.
and the family, because the family will always wait. It's not only when it comes to marriage, it's not an issue of the mother and the father. It involves the both family, the family of the mother of the spouse and the family of the father of the spouse. And those two families, they are there waiting. And you know, those are some of the things that witchcraft creeps in. When you have not satisfied those people, because they are there waiting, you see some people, they are married and they stay for years without having an issue. And you think that is because they have gone to the hospital and everywhere, but everything is just normal. That's just because they bypass the customary part of that marriage.
Okay.
Because the customary part also goes a long way to appease the family, to make the family to recognize that now we have come together with this other family by virtue of that marriage. The two people getting married is just a symbol of bringing those two families together. And now, if you don't bring the two families together, you cannot boast that you are married. And behold, when you have a problem as let's say as the wife of that marriage, the husband's family will insult. They'll never stand for you. They'll never, because they'll vehemently say that they don't know you.
They don't know you.
Even though the law will be backing you, but nobody knows you. You know, so it's always good to follow all the procedures.
Okay, if you want to divorce, ensure that you refund
the
bride price.
Refund the bride price.
Madam Sarah, how will you feel, or will you just take it lightly if let's take for example that a family member of yours divorces without the bride price being refunded? Will you see that as normal?
Madam Mira, the truth is, it's just the fact that we are in Africa. So in Africa, we have some things that bind us together. It is true that we can just take it normal. I'll quote, for instance, my father, he got married. The first wife left him, went her way. Now the lady is having about 7 children, but my father let it go because legally they were married, traditionally they were married. But now we keep hearing things like those children still belong to
your father,
to my father. But that is not how we, or the family, me, my father, and we look at it. But we are just getting it. I don't know how true that can be. But maybe
because the bride price has not been given back to your father.
But now, what if the family, they don't have money? Do we also consider that the family of the lady don't have the money
to refund?
No, there is something that you have to do symbolic.
Okay.
There are some symbolic things that you have to do. It's not really actually, you don't have to. Tradition, there are certain symbolic aspects that you carry out so far as tradition is concerned, and it will be recognized that the bride price has been returned. It's just to bring the two family again together.
Okay.
Yes, we came together because we wanted to stay as two family, but God has not accepted. Please, can you have this as a token as the bride price? As you all know, we can't provide the whole sum.
Okay.
And so it's just a matter of bringing the two families together, and they agree that now it is like this, we cannot. And if again you cannot return the bride price, the other person that is coming to get married to that woman has to go and return that bride price, or you pay your bride price to that family.
Because I know of a situation that a man refused taking it.
And again, Mira, in a situation, I've experienced a situation where it's my elder sister. never got married, and she had 6 children. She's of late now. May her soul rest in peace. But when her daughter was getting married, they came and paid the bride price in our compound. Our father and our mother and our family enjoyed the bride price as the mother's bride price.
Okay.
So the father now, the surviving father, could not enjoy that bride price because he never paid the bride price of the wife. So they had to come and pay the daughter's bride price to our parents.
To your family.
Yes.
Okay.
And so now he can now recognize, the man now can be proud that I got married to my wife by virtue of the bride price of his daughter.
Okay, now talking about the importance of a marriage certificate. Well, yes, many a times, especially women, sometimes they're like, it's okay, I am happily married, you know, I just want to be like that. I really just want to be like this, you know. So I just want us to take a detailed look into the importance of a marriage certificate. What are the importance that come with it?
The first importance is that your marriage is being recognized. Okay. It's recognized legally. It's recognized in your society. The people in your society, they know that you are married, and they respect you because you are married. The second advantage is that it protects the rights and status of the partners involved. Your right and status, especially the woman, you have the right of inheritance. The children that comes out as a result of that marriage, they have the right to enjoy the inheritance also. They have the right to for protection. You are being protected as a result of that marriage certificate. They cannot just come and do the husband's family and start causing havoc in your family. You are being protected by that marriage certificate because the marriage certificate guarantees that once you are married, your rights are being protected. And it guarantees fidelity in that marriage.
Okay.
Yes, once you are married, you have a marriage certificate. It guarantees fidelity because there are rules covered by law that you are supposed to respect your spouse. You are not supposed to go around doing all type of funny things, because if you have to divorce, there are some rights that you are going to relinquish to that woman, and as such it protects the man to stay within the confines of the marriage. And even the woman also will know that I have signed this commitment, and as such I have to stay within the confines. I have to stay with my
true to
yes
this.
I have to stay true to my husband. It also enhances social security and a support system. When we say social security, as a woman, you have the right to, when your husband is not there, you have the right to a widow's pension. Okay. And you can only benefit that if you have a legal marriage certificate. Yes. It also, once the man is alive, you are also exposed to health benefits. You understand? There are some companies, or there are some structures that give as an incentive or as a necessity for work to promote their staff. They give them health insurance. And if you have a marriage certificate,
which covers your wife,
covers your wife and covers your children, you have the right to enjoy free health, or about 80%, depending on the agreement between the health institution and the institution and the insurance company. Yes, so there is that guarantee, And even the children, there are some spousal benefits that comes as a result of you having children with that man. So you benefit, but without the marriage certificate, you cannot have all those benefits. It also has some legal protection in case of divorce. The marriage certificate, if you want to divorce, it is spelled out. Did two people married? Was it joint property? Was it separate property? Is the marriage polygamy? Based on that, they'll now know how to separate the properties. Yes. But if you don't have a marriage certificate, you can toy in that marriage for in perpetuity. When you are getting divorced, you just go the way you come. No matter how much you have put into that marriage.
No matter how many years.
Yes, you have put into that marriage. You just go the way you come. But if you have a valid marriage certificate, there's no way you can go like that. There is the responsibility. Yes, we people want to divorce. All the properties
We have to look
We have
at
to
it.
look at
Yes, they give yours, And then this issue of next of kin also, is important because once one of the spouse is no longer existing, the surviving spouse
Automatically.
yes, wear the shoes of the spouse who is no longer alive.
Okay.
It guarantees your inheritance, even without a will.
Okay.
Even without a will. Even if the husband did not write a will.
It will.
Yes.
So if the husband did not, we are not saying that husbands always die the first. But that's what they always
Yes.
complain.
Yes.
That they will suffer, they will invest, but they will go before their wives. And we are not praying for that. We are praying that everybody should live long and live happily. Now, it's always said, for better, that's one of the common phrases that we hear of. For better, for worse, till death do us part. Now, let us hear from you some of those responsibilities, because it is not just possessing a marriage certificate, but it also comes with its own responsibilities to both partners. So can you highlight some of these responsibilities?
Like Barrister was saying, he did mention of a word commitment. The marriage certificate is that important to bring those two persons together. As a result, they need to be committed to each other. That means that marriage certificate has come to bind. And binding these two persons make them to work as a team. They have the responsibility to. Now we should not just sit, and because most often the wife just sit and know that, okay, the husband should just be working. At the end of the day, our benefits all what the husband is working, and they keep the man busy. We should know that we have joined, and we are now one.
1 plus 1. That's the only mathematics I've seen on earth.
Yes.
And 1 plus 1 becomes 1.
And it is because of the marriage certificate. So both parties, they have the responsibility to keep the flame of the marriage burning.
Okay.
It is not just something for one person. It is something that the two persons should work. We are talking about joint property, because most often we hear joint property. There's this story that a brother of mine, he got married, and day after or 2 days after the court or the marriage, it was court and this marriage certificate of 18. He came from America. So after that, they were in that hotel that they were living. He is not stable. So they have where they are keeping their addresses. So for him to go and check his own, he will just remove the things and then pick, and then the wife would now the wife turned and was telling him that, Papa, please, because you are that scatter, it means that we are going to separate addresses. Now I'll take this part, you take this part, so that I'll always be concentrating there too. So he called the husband called the sister, say, when they be the ask her for court, say now join on a separate property, say join property. Say,
but my wife is here separating
the wife is there separating them. So she was shouting joint property. What was she thinking about joint property? The joint property, was it thinking about that one house, maybe one car?
We are talking about this property.
He said this is a joint property. The day she would try to remove my dress from her own, that will be
the end of it.
Yes. So we should know that it is joint. We have come to build. It is not it's not a thing for just the man. The children should be our responsibility. Our house or our plans for the future should be our responsibility. How we live our life, where we live our life. That is why I enjoy this group now in church. See, Christian Family Movement. You cannot go there alone. A single person cannot join.
You go with your.
If you are joining as a single person, it means you are aspiring to.
Or maybe you're a widow.
Yes. It is couple. They go there as one. That is, they are teaching them that marriage is binding. That union that has brought them together should live with them, and the responsibility should be either 50-50. Though most of you cannot take it 50-50, but the woman too should have a part to play in that marriage in that home so that things goes on well. Don't just sit, okay, because they have signed my marriage certificate, I have arrived, I'm legally married, I start moving about, opening my body, this is my ring, showing the world, making as if tomorrow they can still remove that ring if it does not work. Yes, the ring can still go down, because that is why most often you see that divorce is so rampant. Yes, it's so rampant these days, because the commitment is no longer there. Maybe after,
and even the guarantee that we are saying, that it guarantees fidelity,
yes,
guarantees. I was just listening to it, because how much guarantee do we really have? But that is, anyway, that is the aim, to guarantee fidelity.
Most often after signing, after giving that signature down, okay, we are legally, that is when you see the real face of that woman in the house. Somebody told me that during December you see about 100 couple getting married every Saturday. They come back 1 year after, many of them are there running to divorce. Why? Because that they have lost the sense of commitment. I was just discussing before getting to the studio. Someone was telling me that it better more Jody live it together for a very long time, understand ourselves, or go sign that thing. Yes, maybe because statistics that shows that after the marriage certificate, the lady think that it is all about the document, and it is the man to work for the marriage to succeed. We should all go. It is a binding something. The ring is not just on the man's finger, it is also on your finger. They call it handcuff. It means they have joined, they have put that chain together, so that together we have a lot of responsibility. We see that this family grows. We see that the children become wonderful people in future. We see that this marriage is blessed. How many how many parents go to church together? It is very difficult. So all those responsibility comes to play when they have joined. When they are still separating, or they are not legally married, that certificate is not there. Most often you will not see those things, because maybe that woman is thinking that maybe the man will leave me tomorrow.
So let me just show him all my good sides.
Yes.
So that he should consider me.
So we are just saying that though the certificate is powerful, we are also,
something more comes to that.
Something more comes when you have that certificate. They say to whom more is given, more is expected.
Now, we are coming to you, Madam Walang. We are looking at how the responsibilities, because you hear sometimes they'll say, you have to, when I want to marry you now, so you be there. Yes, especially to the women. The men will always ask, go back to the way I met you. I don't know how possible that is, but we know that marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities, which I also want you to add your voice to these responsibilities.
Okay, what I'll start by saying is that marriage is not just a symbolic thing or a ceremonial event. It comes with a lot of rights, obligations, and responsibilities. And some of those responsibilities are what? It brings out mutual rights and duties. Mutual right, like we rightly said, one of those mutual rights is fidelity. Once there is a marriage certificate, let's forget about all the after effects. But let's think straight about the responsibilities that a marriage certificate brings.
Exactly.
It brings fidelity. Because
the misuse does not take away the use.
Exactly. It brings about fidelity because the man knows that there are certain rights that woman will enjoy if they have to divorce. And so the man will minimize. It's true that African men are naturally polygamous, but at least you will minimize the way of doing the issue. You'll be hiding it. So it will enhance fidelity in the marriage. And you know, one of the advantages of a marriage certificate is that there is cohabitation. The couple, they have to come together. They have to live together. As husband and wife to bring up their children. And there is mutual respect and support. You respect each other. Since you don't want your spouse to go away or your husband to go away, knowing the advantages, there will be respect. when there's a marriage certificate, there is respect, not only from the parties involved, from the both families. They'll have to respect you. Have you ever visited a home where a woman is living there with the husband when they have not got to marry to her? She doesn't have a marriage certificate. I've seen a situation where a mother-in-law will take her marriage certificate and brandish to that poor girl. This is what is known as marriage.
Yes.
You are just passing your time here. This is what is known. Whereas with that marriage certificate, such things will not be called for. And then there's also the financial responsibility. Like Sarah was saying, there is shared financial responsibility. Once there is a marriage certificate, all of you are working. You have to share your responsibility. This is what we are going to do. I'll use my money for food. You use your money to build our beautiful house. Knowing that responsibility, even in case of divorce, that beautiful house will be shared among us. And so, there's that shared financial responsibility. And then there is a community of properties. Properties, you join your properties together. You are one. All the properties you have is one. All the properties that you people acquire within the existence of that marriage is all your properties. And in case the marriage has to crumble, with the marriage certificate, they have the right to share the property. But without any marriage certificate, you have just been laboring there for nothing. And then also, there is also debt responsibility. You don't only step into the surviving spouse shoes because you want to enjoy all the advantages.
You also inherit the debts.
The debts. You also have to inherit that debt. You have to pay the debts of your spouse. And then there's a parental duty. You have to take care of the issues that come about as a result of that marriage. And so they have the responsibility, joint responsibility for the welfare of those children, to bring those children up, to educate them, to make sure that they live well. And then child custody and guardianship. Once you people are married and you have a marriage certificate, when there is divorce, what matters is not the two getting divorced, but the welfare of those children.
Of the children.
Who is going to take custody of those children? Child. Yes, so it is also very important. And there is also this spousal support. You have to give support as the husband. If you are divorcing your wife and you have children, both couples, they have to give support. Whosoever take the children, the other couple is supposed to give spousal support. But if you don't have any marriage certificate, where are we going to start?
The children, they get into trouble.
The children, they get into trouble. And even those children, they will have the right to inherit from their father's property because of the marriage certificate. As a result of the marriage certificate, automatically they are legitimate children. And as they are legitimate children of that
the right
family,
to their father's property.
They have the right to their family and to recognize. And then they have the legal rights and benefits. Like we were saying, legal rights, the right to inheritance. You understand? The children as well as the wife, they have right to inherit. They have right for marital properties. Marital properties, all the properties that they acquire in the marriage. And then, like I said, spousal support also is part of it, which is very important. And then this next of kin issue. Those are some of the responsibility. The next of kin issue. Once you are married with a valid marriage certificate, automatically you are the next of kin. When it comes to medical documents, they sign. If they have to operate your husband,
they ask for the wife.
They ask for the wife automatically. So automatically you are the next of kin of your husband. Not only next of kin when the man dies, but next of kin in other surviving issues. You are the one to stand at the forefront based on that marriage certificate. But without any marriage certificate, you cannot. You are also even public institutions. Once there is a marriage certificate, public institutions, they recognize your marriage certificates. Like when you are a teacher, yes, you have to bring the marriage certificate of your children. And by virtue of that marriage certificate of your children, they can easily register them on CMPS and you enjoy what is known as family allowance.
And so also I think it plays too with the transfer of teachers because I can remember, yes, I've heard of, if you want to be transferred as a teacher, they take that into consideration. If you and your husband, you reside in Boya, they try not to really separate you from your spouse. And in as much as we have highlighted some of those, the responsibilities that come with marriage, and we don't know why, we don't know whether that is why some men are hesitant. When you start opening, they will live with their wives. Yes, we'll call them wives because often they have gone through the payment of the bride price. Now it's left for them to go to court and have it legalized. But some of the men, when you start opening up the conversation of, Daddy, how, when do you think we can have this legalized? They're a little bit hesitant. I want us to look at some of the reasons why some men may feel like maybe it's not the right time to get into this issue of having a legal marriage certificate. Madam Sarah?
I think that the first thing that will really make a man not to push, it is the attitude of the woman. Yes, you will not sign a marriage certificate with someone you're already seeing red flag. A woman that does not respect the man will not think of doing it. And I think disrespect is one of the things that will push or will hinder some men not to
get into that.
Not to get into. Another thing that can prevent men not to, it is maybe financial reasons, constraint. Yes. We live in a society where whenever we think of marriage, we think of big occasion, and we calculate those things that comes to celebrate. And maybe we don't have the money, and without the finance, we will be forced not to. Let's just be like that. So financial constraint too can prevent a man from signing a marriage certificate with the wife. A third reason too may be family issue. You know, there are some family that have refused a particular girl or refused their children from getting married to a particular girl.
Okay.
Yes. And
from a particular tribe.
From a particular tribe.
And even a particular girl.
Yes.
Sometimes you bring your girlfriend home to introduce your girlfriend to your mother or father. They say, this particular girl, I don't want this girl in this family. I don't want this girl in this family.
And that will also,
and that is where the heart of the boy is. And the boy wants to legalize everything, but the parents say no.
No, because of that family will prevent that boy or that guy from going further. Another thing too is the friendship around, or the company. You know, you may see a girl and you love the girl so well. Getting to know some of our friends may stand as a barrier for you not to carry her to the next level.
The next level.
Okay, if I may.
Yes, maybe just add something.
I also want to believe that some of the reasons why men don't want to be legally committed is lack of awareness. Some of them, they are not aware of the advantages of getting married and the advantages of
staying without having that legal document.
Yes, they don't just have that awareness. And when you don't have that awareness, it is difficult for you. You have your preconceptions about marriage. You hold strong to them. And when you hold strong to those things, forgetting that there are a lot of advantages that comes as a result
that overweigh
of
the disadvantages.
Yes, you know. And then also there is the fear of legal consequences. Most of them, like I've cited some of those legal consequences. You know that if I get married now to this woman
and something happens to me,
my property
belongs to this woman.
The
woman I just met yesterday who does not know how I suffered, how I tilled the soil to be able to get to this level.
Yes, it does. They will carry my children away. What all those.
They will not allow my mother to even come to this house.
And then there is, like she said, the financial concern of the issue, and then procrastination or indecision. There are some men, Mommy, can we just wait next year?
Yeah.
We'll do this
We'll
thing
do
next
it.
year. Why
Don't
you
worry.
bothering yourself?
Are we not living together? Do we not have children?
So don't
Have we
bother
not built a
yourself.
wonderful house?
Yes, just be there. We'll get it. The next year will come and go. The next
The
year comes
other
and
year.
go. The next year comes and go. You know, that procrastination, it postpone the marriage.
The marriage.
And it also postpone the advantages and the importance of a marriage certificate to that union. So procrastination is not a good sign. And at times the man may be married somewhere. Have you experienced that? Oga is married somewhere.
We've heard of that.
Oga is married, happily married somewhere.
With
and he's
children.
with children.
Children.
And he's living with you. You don't have marriage certificate. And you
don't know what is happening.
It's my husband. You are shouting my husband. He is not your husband, no. He's not your husband. The real wife will come one day, and the real wife is that wife with the marriage certificate.
Yeah.
You see. So, and as such, people who are already married, they will not want to approach the civil statute to get married because they may recognize it, or it may be charged for bigamy.
Okay.
Yes, it may be charged for bigamy. So they will not want to. That's why they don't want to legalize the marriage. They will just want that you people will just stay like that, and you know, and like she has rightly said, uncertainty about that relationship. You are not certain. You see a woman that you are living with.
A woman
you
is like
still-
she's like a chameleon. Today she's very nice. Tomorrow she looks like she's someone else.
I'm
The
telling
next
you.
tomorrow she's very humble.
The
So-
next day she is just something else. You know, you go to work and come back, instead of your wife to present you with food, welcome you at the door, they are welcome you with enough peru. Maybe they are giving you a spank at their job. And so all those things you don't want to be committed in such a relationship.
You don't want to be committed, but you keep living together with children,
living
and
together.
maybe some of them just live together because they say, well,
Because
what is
my
keeping me is because of my children. I
keep-
have
keep
these
me
children.
today.
I don't know what to do, and I don't want to bring in another woman who will come and suffer my children, because I know I've been hearing of that. Let me just stay in this suffering. In short, I'm
Yes.
used to the better evil. I'm used to, because I know her, and at least I've paid her bride price.
Yes, and some men also, they will not want that marriage because they want to still be in that position of power. Because some of them, they know that when they get married
the
to you, you
the
have some
certificate,
rights.
yes.
You know that, okay, today if we are no longer there, I'll have this, I'll have that, I'll have that. But so some of them, especially those cultural inclined type of husbands, they want to just keep you there and they maintain their power.
Yeah.
Because they know that you'll still be there, play your chameleon game
Time
for
to go.
the marriage, and time is going. And time is going, so
Yeah.
they'll just be there having their power and stuff, forgetting that a marriage certificate is very important.
It's very important, and I'm happy that we are talking about this, because I can remember a friend invited me for his wedding, and I was very happy. I said, oh wow, this is good. He said, auntie me, I beg, my marriage so that I fit sleep every day at the car house. If I come on walk, I enter house other than at 10 o'clock. First way that woman they welcome me, and I say, I don't go like 13 for their marriages then. When what on go happen? So my head cold. So some of them don't even go into the signing because they really want it. It's just because
Pressure.
that the wife keeps on nagging because the wife knows what she wants, and the wife knows that is the right thing. If you're living with me and we are living for this long, and you are only, you meander. When I want to come up with the conversation, you bring up something else. Then it means that you're not ready, and there's no reason why we should be cohabiting. Now, I also want us to look at the women, because some of our
Can we
sisters.
just talk about some of the instruments that protect the marriage certificate?
Okay, let's
It
look
is
at
really-
the instruments that
Yes,
protected
those
marriage
marriage
certificate,
certificates,
and then
yes.
after we'll go to the reasons why some women too, they feel that cohabitation, that's the best.
Yeah.
When they succeed to enter a house and live with that man, they just think that I just wanted to be here,
Yeah.
so I'm fine with it. So let us look at some of the instruments you're talking
Also,
about.
there are some legal, national, and regional and international instruments
Okay.
that protect, that uphold the importance of a marriage certificate. And we will start by our national instruments.
Okay.
Our main national instrument that we have is the Ordinance number 81 of 2/02 of 29 June 1981 of civil status registration. This is the main legal framework governing the registration of birth, death, and marriage in Cameroon.
Okay.
Yes, so far as birth certificate, because all these things they are recognition is at the civil status registry, and this law that I've just cited is the law that is governing all those aspects that with marriage involved.
Yes,
And
because we have heard of situations where someone will falsify and say that I'm married to this person, but they go back to the is it the
civil status registry.
Exactly.
Yes, to
look
cross
at it.
check. And then it also requires all marriages to be registered with the civil status registry to be valid. So if your marriage is not registered at the civil status registry, therefore that marriage is not
It's
valid.
not valid.
And they say unregistered customs or religious marriages are not recognized under civil law. You see, like your customary and religious marriage, it's not recognized. You can go to court and say, I'm married. No,
They will not look at
the
it.
courts and the public does not know that one. It is your custom and your religion that knows that you are married. And so that marriage is not legally binding wherever a marriage certificate is needed. And this law protects it. And then we also have the Cameroon Penal Code, which penalizes the declaration of marriage or tamper with civil status records. Civil status record involving marriage now. So when you tamper with a marriage certificate to show the importance of marriage certificate, it's punishable under
by
the
law.
penal code. Yes, the
Okay.
Cameroon Penal Code.
Okay.
And then it also protects, the Cameroon Penal Code also protects the right arising from legal marriage. That is including inheritance and legitimacy of the children. Like what we have been saying. There is a law that is actually protecting it. And then we have the Cameroon Civil Code. That is the French civil law. This French civil law actually set out conditions for a valid marriage, like the consent, as we initially say, the age of a marriage,
of the marriage.
monogamy, etc. That is monogamy, is polygamy, is set, it's said how the condition also establishes marital rights and duties such as mutual respect, cohabitation, fidelity, and support.
Okay.
So all what we have been saying is, if you see, is within the confines of the law.
Of the law.
It provides for matrimonial property regimes and the rights of spouse upon separation or death. Matrimonial regime, that is it joint property? Is it
Separate property.
Is it all this? And we also have the law number 2006 of 15 of 29 December 2006 relating to the judicial organization. That is judicial organization, which recognizes civil status documents like marriage certificate as legal evidence in court proceedings. So during court proceedings, if you are claiming that you are married, the only document that the law recognizes is marriage certificate, to show you how the marriage certificate
It's very important.
It's very
And so
important.
some of us who get angry and we think that the only document that we can destroy
is our marriage
the marriage
certificate.
certificate. Please,
You are
we are
killing
begging.
yourself. Yes, you are
When you
killing
get
yourself.
angry, you can do other things. Don't destroy that
Don't
certificate.
destroy your marriage certificate. And to show that at the regional level, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights also protect it. Article 18 recognizes the family as a natural unit of the society and calls on the state to protect its legality.
Okay.
The family now as a natural unit, and the marriage fall under the family status as a natural unit. It also promotes legal recognition of marriage, ensuring that parties, especially women, have equal rights during and after marriage.
After marriage.
Women should have equal rights to remain. It's within the law, internationally recognized by the African Charter. Because you are married doesn't mean that you should trample on your wife.
your wife.
No, the African instrument is to the effect that before, after, and
jury,
within the
yes,
marriage.
the marriage.
A
There
man
should be
and a
equal rights.
And it boils down to the mathematics that you were just saying, that 1 + 1
Is one. Thank
is
you, Madam
one.
Walang. We are going to move on because we have
Yes.
just few minutes to round up with the program.
The
And,
international part. It's okay. It's
okay, maybe we'll look at the international part later, but for now, I just want us to look at this issue because this program is not only meant for us to educate our viewers, but also to empower our viewers so that they know the kind of decision that they are taking. Now, why is it that some women, they feel content with cohabitation?
Madam Mira, the first thing is maybe they are still tasting relationship.
They are testing the waters.
Yes, they are still testing it. You know, somebody can be here but not here. I can be with you, but I'm not.
You are not with me.
I'm not with you. So I can be in that relationship, and I don't want it to get to that level of marriage certificate because I'm still testing outside. I'm still checking. Maybe somebody better than
It means you are not my final endpoint.
Yes.
You are not my endpoint.
Yes, I'm still looking at somebody that will come from America to come and maybe at the end of the day when the person does not come, I start mounting pressure that okay, let us go and sign. The second reason which I think it may be the fact that they are not compatible. Yes, I know of a situation where they told the two persons not to get married.
That they are not compatible.
They are not compatible. But today what happened? They went ahead and they had to. Maybe if you stay together in that cohabitation stage, you may be advising yourself. The doctor has said that gradually we can go separate ways. Now another reason is getting into that serious commitment. Yes.
Some people just want to be left alone.
They want to be free, personal freedom. Yes, they don't want to be like that in a cage. Today, I cannot answer my call freely because they know that marriage comes with a lot of respect, a lot of responsibility,
a lot of expectations.
A lot of expectations
from both parties.
Now, I cannot give what I don't have. I can't. I'm not committed to this person. Am I sure that I will be able to? Let us just be enjoying our freedom, ourselves as we are. Because truth be told, Madam Mira, most people that are cohabiting, they have in mind that they can go separate ways. Yes,
that's the truth.
They know that today this man can see somebody else. That is why you see a man will tell you that I'm not married. Though he's living with somebody in the house, the man will tell you I'm not married. Then the woman too will sit there, I'm not married. They are telling us out I'm not married, but they are staying together. So they have not made up their mind.
They are not convinced of what they really want.
Yes. So they are just fooling.
But it's rather, I don't know if I should say it is funny that you're not convinced, but you're living together and you're having children.
Madam, you have financial
you're not
difficulties
convinced
too. Is another problem.
It's another problem, but now the church has made it in such a way that because we have to sensitize the public. Yes. The church has made it, even the courts, they have made it in such a way that you can 50 of you can come together, even more, and get married and go you quietly to your homes.
No, when I talk of financial difficulty, why a lady would choose to go and cohabit?
Okay.
She does not have money to take care of some certain bills and all the like, and somebody is flashing.
That's a means of survival.
That's her own means to survive. So she will just want to be there, getting what she wants, but not really committed. So maybe some of the reason I feel like the two parties are there. That's something that true be told. Most of them they are saying, and it is only when they get to a certain level that they want to show belong. My man. But the man is not your.
It's not your man. Thank you very much, Madam Sarah, Madam Walang. It's rather unfortunate. Time is against us, so we have to cut the program very, very short. I just want to hear your last words of advice as we are about to leave the studio.
My last word is parties or people in relationship. I don't want to call it marriage couple because until you get married before you have your marriage certificate, people in relationship should not be afraid to legalize their marriage, because there are a lot of advantages
that comes
that
with it.
override the disadvantages of marriage certificate. So it's always important to legalize your marriage certificate, because at all levels, international, national, regional level, the law protects marriage certificate and gives rights and responsibilities.
Thank you
to the
so
couples.
much. Thank you so much, Barrister, for giving us this the legal insight. Now, Madam Sarah.
All we are just saying is no to cohabitation. It is true that you can start to practice, but let us struggle to make it work. The government or the law is very easy to legalize things like that. Same thing with the church, and same thing with the family. It's just that most of them want to do something big. Start from somewhere. Take a move, take a step. You see that you have gone right up to legalizing your marriage, so that you live a happy life and enjoy all the benefits that comes with marriage certificates.
All in all, we are saying that a marriage certificate is very important, and they have enumerated a list of importance of the marriage certificate. And so it is our advice to those parents, especially who have been living together for years. We see some people getting married at the age when they have spent 50 years together. We thank God that it finally happened. But to those who are still there winding, please, we are saying that a marriage certificate is important. We cannot over talk on that. And we hope that we have learned something from the program today. We are leaving the studio. We are calling on you to stay tuned to other interesting programs coming up on DMRO TV. And until we meet again next week, Friday, stay blessed.